Greetings, Dan. This is Al, Professor Al. So, what I want to focus on today is just a few items. I want to give you some feedback on your topics and then talk about what you can do moving forward in preparation for creating your Captivate. So, the first thing is we're going to look at the topics you have. You have four main topics here. I think that the first one really works out nicely. So, how to use conditional formatting in Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. You certainly could do how to convert a DVD to MPG video. Show, hide, and show systems. Well, I think that might be a little bit on the light side. I don't think that there's, I think it's going to be really quick with that. And then how to combine multiple PDF files into a single PDF. I think that, like I said, your number four and your number one and number four are probably your best bets. The thing I want you to think about, though, is why would someone be doing this? So that's the thing to kind of build into it. So it's like how to use conditional formatting in Microsoft Excel spreadsheet to do something, to make a contact list, to make a a budget, so why would they be using conditional formatting, or how could they use conditional formatting? Because part of the thing with this is when you're teaching someone is to have that example in there and you're building around that example. Same thing with how to combine multiple PDFs. So the idea is to create your script, and you still do have to create a text script with this. Not extensive, but just to do it so that you can know where you're going to go with your project. Is, like I said, so how to combine multiple PDF files into a single PDF file to do something. So think about what would be a couple reasons why someone would do something. They're going to take and create a multiple page document, if they're going to create whatever they're going to do. So the idea is that the instruction is going to teach them how to do that process, but they're going to do it to complete something, So if you were doing it, how to take and open a Google Doc, okay, open a Google Doc for what purpose, okay? Because sometimes when people go and do something, a process, they're not quite sure how they would use that instruction, how would they use that conditional formatting, okay? So the first part really with this is to take and figure out what would you like them to do, what could they do, and just pick one of the two. One, I would say one or four. Both of them would work, but figure out what do you want them to do, what's the example of what you want them to do, and then the next part for that is to just do a dry run of it. My suggestion is, if you haven't done it already, you may have done this, but if you haven't done it already, is to go through the steps, so, even before you write down extensive, storyboard notes, just go through the steps and record the steps. So, we're actually working with Adobe Captivate. So hold on a second, let me bring up my Captivate here. So with the Captivate open, we're going to go to our new, and then we're going to choose software simulation. And there's a number of videos that are out there on software simulation. So I'm going to go into more of the explanation of the tool with just a quick overview. Okay, so I got software simulation. I'm going to click on create. So there's a number of pieces, and right now you'll see I got this red line here. And the red line actually sets the area that you're going to record with the Adobe Captivate. And so I'm just going to move this around here. It's just saying what area do you want to record. Okay. And so when I'm in there, and it hasn't started recording anything yet, I'm going to choose, my suggestion is start off with just doing the full screen. If you do the full screen, the red line actually goes away. I'm going to bring it back so you see it. But the full screen, for your first run through, because the fact is, it lets you capture all of it and figure out, well, gosh, what do I really need? And then after that, you can decide whether or not you can do a smaller custom area. And the custom area really is beneficial if you want to make sure that you kind of cut out things like dates and stuff like that. or other areas of your screen that are not important. The other thing is if you're focusing on having them type in details, if you're going to a full screen, it's going to make it so that your final product has got text that's really small. So start off with doing a full screen recording of it, and really all you're doing at this point is helping yourself build your example to pull from. You're literally, it's like recording it, video recording what your process is. So just go through each one of the steps, and every time you click the cursor, like we learned before with Captivate, it will actually create a new slide for you. So you can go back through and edit those things. So here I'm going to take and just choose, I'm going to just do, like I said, a custom region just for the sake of our little example here. And then I've got a number of different options. I will leave the automatic on. Let's just leave all the defaults on because you can see what the different things do. The panning, I'm not a big fan of panning because it does chase the mouse around. Okay, so it can be a little difficult for the user. So normally I choose no panning. And then for the narration, I would actually leave the audio narration on, the built-in microphone on. And it's just, if you have a headset or if you're using built-in microphone, the advantage of it is that you can talk your way through it. Okay, so once you have these pieces set, don't worry about anything else. It is going to ask you to calibrate your audio as the first time you're through it. So I'm going to click on record, and it's going to check my audio. And right now you can choose the audio calibrate. You can actually just pass on this if you've ever done anything with audio before. Okay, and all it's doing is just basically saying, hey, is your audio working? And then click on OK. It's going to give you a countdown. And then you just go through the actions. So what you're going to do is click on different items that you want. You're going to do all of the actions to complete that. So if you're how to use conditional formatting in Microsoft Excel, well then you're going to bring off Microsoft Excel and literally just go through the steps that you would go through to do a conditional formatting, to, like I said, to create a budget sheet or whatever it is. So, the idea, just go through all the steps, and then when you're done, just stop your recording, and it will create all the slides. So I'm just going to click on, just go to Shane's real quick, and then I'm going to come back to it. So, back button. So each time I click on the cursor, it's going to create a little recording for it. Now I'm doing this really quickly because I need to make the video really short so I can upload it. And then I'm going to stop. Now I'm on a Mac, so at the top it says Captivate. I need to just place Command F. Or you can just click on the cursor and it will stop the recording. And what it's doing right now is Captivate is auto-generating all the slides that are necessary for your piece. And so here it's taking a couple seconds to do that. Let me pause the recording here. So and my Captivate crashed, so I'm bringing up a different project here. But you'll have your slides over here on the side. So if I drag this over, you can see. So I've got my various slides, just like we did when we were doing the PowerPoint conversion. But what you'll see is each time that you clicked your mouse, it actually put in there a little marker to indicate each time you clicked your mouse, and it actually shows the cursor action. So the key part for this is this first run, and which is what I'd like everybody to be focusing on this first week, is literally going to give you experience with seeing what happens when you create a demo, assessment, and a training of your project. And really what you're doing is you can actually delete the training version, and what I'd like you to just focus on is the demo and the assessment. What is involved with those two items? And you'll see they're just very similar to what you had done when you built your PowerPoint version. It's just the fact is what it has different is that the user can click and highlight that they've done the step. So if you remember when we were doing our buttons, when we had buttons on there, well, the buttons were just placed, we created them manually. But there is actually a clear button that is created over various regions of your screen, and those clear buttons actually are what the user is going to click on to illustrate that they can do the process that you're doing. So really the goal for this week, what I really wanted to have everybody to do, is to just do a practice session with one of their topics, and to create a demo. So don't worry with the assessment at this point, really just focusing on creating the demo, which is just a recording of the various steps associated with your project. Okay, and so that, if everybody can get that accomplished this week, that is a key item for us preparing for next week. And I'll explain more about what my plan is for the final in a text or a regular standard video after I get everyone their introduction videos. Okay, so really the key part, Dan, is to go and create your, and this is really just a practice with Adobe Captivate. You're going to practice creating a really quick demo of your process that's associated with, like I said, one of your topics. You can choose I would say choose the first one, maybe actually best with the additional formatting, but you can choose from either one of them. It doesn't matter. I think the first and the fourth are both good. Okay, so that's a quick video just to kind of get you started with it. You'll see more videos come up over the course of this week. But I just wanted to make sure that you got a little feedback on your topic. If you have any questions, certainly send me an email. I'm happy to answer them. And we'll move forward from there. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.